Good evening, chat at the Essentials base Twitch channel or whatever. Happy New Year, by the way. It's the first time we're seeing each other in the big 2026, and we're going straight to it, not even with the TF2 season that is dawning upon us, but with the LAN qualifiers for the LAN that is inevitably following that season very soon, shortly after. It's a packed early schedule of the year for TF2 in Europe at the very least, and it's going to be a qualifier match this time around between eepy Nappers and lastminute.com. Both of these teams basically trying to see who can try to qualify for those this final, I believe, 2 slots it is that are going to still be going to LAN to be invited. Maybe it's 3 teams. I don't quite remember. There's a lot of teams fighting for those slots, though. Anyway, before I get ahead of myself, I am certainly joined by Beater on the cam, Wandem on the mic. How are you looking forward to the Demo Night game, Wandem?
This is the first time I've ever cast a Demo Night game. I've managed to dodge all of them, and unfortunately tonight is the night where I have to confront the demons. I'm a staunch TF2 traditionalist, and the concept of a Demo Night in my TF2 games upsets me deeply. So if I'm slightly angry the whole time, that's why, guys.
Look, there's a very easy state of mind you can put yourself in for the Demo Night. Just treat him like he's another roamer. You have to get over the fact that you're missing like a normal demo man on that team. Yeah. But if you just treat him like another roamer, and the fact that, well, he's not going to be as like airborne, I guess. He's going to be more terrestrial, but still, he's going to be basically that, and very tanky. That's all you really got to watch out for. There's maybe going to be just some interesting medic kills that will happen at the mid-fight anyway. We're getting started on Gullywash. It's the first map of tonight. It's going to be a best of 3, actually. Which means this is all to fight for. Whoever wins this gets another shot. Whoever loses is out. They're not going to go into LAN. At least not as players. The mid-fight is already going to go underway.
So, rolling out the Gullywash middle here. Pretty early bombs from the blue side, actually. This is the solo light team. Obviously, Potato, Scout as well. Charon, Frenchie. I believe Frenchie's mucking. There usually is a Fnutech on the roster, but huge bomb. Shout out to Maxi, actually very, very low, but managed to survive. So suddenly these positionings on mid are very weird, but it looks like just for the moment there's a bit of a scout positioning advantage, but that is a solo light. Gets that first kill, but unable to get back up in time, so we're just gonna walk back. Even Ubers both sides, but ultimately it's a blue victory.
Yeah, it was a quite evenly matched midfight for the longest time, but I guess in the end the positioning just kind of favored the eepy Nappers ever so slightly. They edge out a mid-win. It's not a big one. There's still an Uber on the other side, and you see the last minute team already mounting the defense on second as well, so they're ready to hold this as best they can, and well, they might be looking at an exchange here sooner rather than later if either team wants to take that initiative. Lots of pressure out of big door for the eepy Nappers. Already sent a scout in behind as well, so there's a chance here. They might just have something playing with that. If Bitten wants to do anything, that is, he might just chill behind. Goes for the 1v1 against Air, unfortunately loses that one, so I guess that's that play done with, and now they have to worry about maybe Wolfie trying something on the other side. No? Okay, he's out.
This is where it gets a bit curious, right? Because you don't have that demo man holding choke in the same way. So you can see Charon really needs to eat such a big buff, and Uncle Sam's actually just going to take the Uber straight in through choke. There's a lot of damage dealt into the enemy medic of the eepy Nappers. Does pop the Uber out quite late, but are they really realistically going to be able to break this choke? Charon has the bomb in, immediately eats so much damage, so late to the forward, which is a complete crunch and choke. Now Medic is alone, 2 scouts forced to rejoin, but look at the health bar, so low in Victor, and there's just a crunch coming forwards. Google somehow, though, managing to get out alive.
Just about. And a long, deep chase there. Uncle Sam going down to a sliver before finally conceding that medic will not die, that medic will live. But still, last minute, a good bit of momentum here, getting the second out of it as well. Still an equal Uber situation at the end of the day. A pause already, unless my internet has crashed, and
nope.
Yep, okay, so that's, well, that's probably meaning something. Either somebody is lagging out after this round inevitably ends, which would be a spoiler for what's about to happen with this last hold, or, you know, I guess we'll see. But, I mean, this is a defense that they need to mount up here, and they haven't got much time. They got this NG, I guess, coming up right now, but they really got to get this going soon, because these last-minute boys, they look like they might be a little keen. They might just send in something right away.
I think they're playing around the Semonite super nicely as well, right? There's no stickies in choke, making it so much easier to bust through. That sort of post-super fight, sort of like gets one chance to go in, but they completely read him like a book. He's coming in into 4 people, right? And so that means he just gets instantly one-shot. Stickies aren't there to hold on. And now equally on last, right? You're holding this with even Ubers, but this is, oh my god. I didn't know he could do this.
Yeah, he off-classes 2 stickies on last. It's unbelievable.
I didn't know
But
this was a lot.
this is the strategy. This is what Odin was doing as well. You just off-class the stickies on last because there's nothing you doing with the shield. You're literally dead weight. You might as well try to pull some weight at least. And I guess we'll see how this push goes for the side of last minute. They have a slight uber advantage, and much rather they built a little bit faster. Not like it matters. They're probably unaware, and just gonna try to see how they try to approach this. That sentry is still not quite in perfect position. Still getting moved around. Pyro there to defend it as well. Not even level 3 yet, but they're being very careful. Now both soldiers, Wolfie, Elker, both seeing if they can get something out of River here. Lots of spam onto that sentry, but they can't quite get it down just yet. And there goes Wolfie as the soldier taken down. So that's the aggression stunted for now.
It's just interesting to see if blue team decide to do anything with it. Nope, the nappers are just gonna sit back, take a breather and relax for the moment. One pick is not too much to work with. That's why we saw the pause earlier. Sharon disconnecting and reconnecting. Now here's the thing, Sunny, right? It's even Ubers. Neither team really has sort of any major advantage to work with, right? Gun is now up, a Pyro on it as well. This means the sort of usual play we see teams go for is that play in through water. So send a scout soldier in through water and try to pressure from multiple sides at once. Interesting to see how last minute managed to do that. To be honest, Sunny, coming into this game, I'm not really expecting last minute to put up much of a fight against this team. The eepy Nappers finished top of the B tournament at Uberfest, and also gave like the winners of that super close best of 3. Almost beat the Danger Dinosaurs, but this time around, they're in on last, and that's a really nice bomb coming in. Doesn't do too much damage, but Elkia opens the door a little bit. Uncle Sam will get the cap, and so for now, they're going to back off. 2 down, and maybe Frenchie's fancying himself a little bit of a push through lower.
Yeah, he does have a little bit of aggression there, but ultimately backs out. It is enough for the team to just take lobby, though, move forward. That's a scout taken down, though. The Ubers are going to be exchanged. Solar Channel's just caught in the crossfire, tries to charge in, maybe do something, but has to just escape with his charge wasted. And looks like they're just not going to be doing anything beyond that. Meanwhile, last minute, chasing this into down river deeply, seeing what they can maybe get away with here. Already scout in through water. Soldier aggression coming in as well, jumping the point. Lots of captai being put down. Nobody there to defend it. Eventually, they get them off that point, but it's just not enough. They have enough players to put on that point, keep the ones trying to defend off it, and there you go, first round going the way of lastminute.com.
That's a really nice start for them. I really like that sort of repush back in onto last. Really just managing to pressure that point before the stickies are even up, and there you go. First round for them. I really do consider them an underdog in this game. I think you sort of look at the strength of the roster, the fact that this is a last-minute team. They don't really play together. It's made specifically for poLANd, but so far, first little round here on Gullywash, coming out ahead, back onto middle now. Gonna have to see what the changes are. This is a weird middle for a Demo Knight to play in the first place. Did you see the early soldier height is taken, and it's so hard now for last minute to get in, but actually managed to find 2 kills already.
Ooh, nope, not quite. I saw the charge, I was hoping for something, but there's a step that the medic was above. As you mentioned, Gullywash, not a good mid for a Demo Knight to be in, and you see it crumbling for the entire team. Frenchie, the sole survivor, just barely escaping for a while there before finally getting cleaned up as well. It's a wipe for the eepy Nappers. They're gonna have to try and hold last somehow. They will get some spawners up for it in time, but it's gonna be quite the hole to pull off with a full Uber on the other side as well. They really have to work for it at this point.
Yeah, super nice mid-fight. And as you're saying, massive advantage here for the side of last minute. Coming to last, but Elkia is just on spy on last while waiting to get the forward spawn. Making sure that there are some stickies or a shield up, but Solar Light up on the stickies. So Uber last defense is going to be set up here. Heavy up hiding in secret as well. Stickies on the point. Gun up on right side. The NA specials. The Uber's going to come in straight away. Unfortunately, this sentry gun is not my favorite as it's immediately down, doesn't do anything. There's just still stickies on the point. You're going to have to pressure this a lot. You can see the enemy blue players just stuck all the way back in spawn as they're going to flood out now. So a lot of damage dealt with heavy in secret needs to be dealt with and is just getting just that. It is with moving onto the point and so many players falling. Medic in secret, and that is another round captured there. Last minute up 2-0 already.
There was a point there at the last hole where I actually saw a chance for the eepy Nappers. They were doing so well kiting for so long, nobody dying, but then they just all get forced onto the point, slowly but surely cleaned up by the soldiers from above. Nobody's focusing down, and that's how you clean it up. That's 2-0. They're running away with it a little bit, and I mean, again, I did mention Gullywash, not the strongest map for Demo Knight. Perhaps it was even a pick out of last minute if there were any sort of map picks that, you know, had some sort of metagaming here. They will be playing Bagel later, So we might see a very different story there, but for now, the effectiveness is being stunted a little bit as the next mid-fight goes underway. Little rotation on the other side there. Charge in by Demo Knight. Doesn't quite get the kill he wants to, but they're still finding frags anyway. Maxi eventually goes down regardless, and that's a wipe this time around. Turns out, you just switch up the strategy. If they go to that side, we'll just go to the same side and meet them head on. When you have a melee weapon in your hands, that's probably a good idea, actually.
Yeah, one thing that the Demo Knight does do is it really focuses everyone on the team onto him straight away, and that opens the door so much for the rest of the eepy nappers to come in onto mid. Early pressure here. Really like what I saw there out of Frenchie, just getting in, making sure that that gun has no time to be built. So instead, now back, it's going to be air, choosing for the heavy instead. You can see the Zubrad is going to come in right away in through river here.
Yeah, they want to send this as quickly as they can. No sentry to worry about either, so they just have to get onto that point, get that demo taken care of, or at least the stickies out of the way. A little bit of captive to try and edge something out. The Uber is faded. Now they have to actually win these fights. Google goes down already, so no heals here for either side, man. Maxi's down as well. It's down to the DM. Sola gets a frag onto the heavy, but it is down to a 2v2 with a demo still up on high ground as well for the defending side, and it looks like it will be enough to hold for now unless Frenchie pulls a miracle out of his hat, dealing a combined 200 damage to 2 players while on 30 health himself. Yeah, it's not happening. He's got to get out of there, just narrowly living himself, but still a decent amount of cap time, and with Ubers being equal, there's all the chances they still have to try and do another repush here.
This is now with the downtime, right? Getting the time to set up this gun, finally. Didn't have that last time. We're going to see if the eepy nappers once again just choosing the immediate pressure here onto balconies. A lot of damage. LK actually falls. The counter damage doesn't come out. Uncle Sam is up on the sniper. Finds one body shot kill onto Charon, but the rest of the blue team can now sort of get in, and it's so much damage that was so like charge forward, but really countered by this gun. It's doing a lot of work, half point capture, but it's just not enough. Frenchie forced to back out. There we go.
I think he was like a millimeter away from just chopping Maxi's head off with that charge. It was quite scary. The sentry juggling him back, probably just narrowly preventing a disaster for this last hold. And yeah, they've stabilized for now. Again, another opportunity, obviously, for eepy nappers to send something in, but that sentry is going to be a thorn in their side now, especially without the demo helping out as well. Yeah, they're just going to send it in with the Uber straight away, seeing what they can do. That sentry lives for so long, though, eventually gets taken down. Obviously, the counter Uber gets popped out as well, and it's so much longer for the set of last minute, and they're just going to get these players off this last play point entirely. Wolfie does go down, but that's it, unless there's a repush coming out of eepy nappers here. If somebody is stuck behind, nah, they're just, yeah, they have to at least wait for a little bit. Eventually, maybe they're trying to trigger a refight here. They're actually getting frags, believe it or not. Matter of fact, it's enough to get on the point. What the hell happened?
I love that play from the eepy nappers. So aggressive, recognizing the enemy defenses are kind of in shambles, so they just all send it in with the gravity of the demo man. Nobody is looking at Maxi anymore, and that is just a free bomb in. Charon does so much work bombing in that top left side. That's massive damage dealt. Now responding with a round. Took them a little while. They got that mid-fight wipe a while ago. Momentum shifting maybe perhaps a little bit on this first map here of Gullywash. Last minute start out so well, but you cannot drop off. This Demo Knight is really scary when the momentum gets going. If that gets in your head, it gets very scary for you.
They're playing this mid alright now, though. They're not falling victim to what happened last time. They're keeping the distance from the Demo Knight. Turns out that he's the easiest to do when you can see him, and when you can just take care of him before he gets even close to you. That being said, they did lose at least one player in their troubles for that, but I think it's a worthwhile trade. 3 players down on the side of eepy nappers, and they're running for their lives. Might even get cut off with just barely not managing to do that. But still, it's a 1 mid for last minute. It's probably going to be a second, at least pressure, at least. And maybe even a cap as well if they get enough players on that point in time. Frenchie's pretty much the only one there right now. They got a couple of players now coming in from the top side as well to see if they can do something here. But at this point, they don't really have great positioning. Sharon might just get caught as well. Oh my god, nice little pipe there by Whip, actually, to clean that one up. And Wolfie's in so deep as well, just trying to cut off these stragglers getting out. Still, you're gonna get that second. You're gonna try to pressure last as well, and this is actually gonna be a push.
Yeah, this push is coming straight in, gun already down, and this is a demo man who did have time to put up stickies. The counter Uber can come out onto Yona there. Is he going to be able to find any kills? He's already in lobbies. A lot of damage onto Whip, actually. Solo like just forced to use that charge to get forward, but it's a lot of cap time here coming up from Wolfie, and the recollapse can now come in from the red scout. Wolfie on his own, however, on point, does so much damage. And there we go. We talk about momentum shifting right back now in the favor of last minute.
It's very rock, paper, scissory, these rounds. I feel like there's a chance for eepy Nappers to win if they win the mid-fight if they just pick the right side. They just have to pick the correct side that their Demo Knight can be effective on. If they go to the wrong side and they have to walk across the point with the Demo Knight to get anywhere close, they're basically cooked already. It's already over at that point, it seems like. So we'll have to see how they approach it this time. If they choose the correct side again, maybe they just wait a little bit longer to see what the enemies do, and they opt for the left side once more instead, and they're gonna have to walk across. Maybe let their soldiers pull some weight instead. Soldier gets a nice little charge up top. Alright, I rescind everything I stated. Oh my lord! What a charge! Gets onto Wolfie. The rest of the team is there to follow up with the chaos, and Air is the only survivor of all of that. Trying to, well, basically just get back to last at this point.
eepy Nappers have one shot in their cannon, but my god, it's a scary one. They sort of all rely on that instant timing of the Demo Man charging in. The rest of them could sort of use that extra space that he's warping around him. Now, it's a scout already in on last before anyone is there to defend. Does get kicked off immediately, but this Pyro now has to play such a defensive position, and that is just solo like charging onto the point for free, round back instantaneously.
It's just that easy. 2-3. Anybody's game to play for. We haven't even seen half map time just yet, so there's a lot still to fight for. And again, as long as that mid fight works out, if they get that glass cannon working somehow, they really have a strong mid on their hands. We'll see how they approach it this time around. And obviously, last minute, they might not be Prem players, but they're smart enough to understand and maybe adjust to what's being thrown their way, right? Might expect a thing or two happen. At this time around, they're going to that side again, but they managed to cut off Solar Light, and that's one thing dealt with already. One threat. That's Potato and Charon out of the question as well. And even if Solar Light manages to run down your medic, surely you win the mid fight off the back of this, right? Yeah, you get Google as well. Okay, you get everybody else cleaned up. It's a bit of a dirty mid, but at least they still win.
That was crazy. It's a super nice bomb early on by LK, right? Getting those two first frags and really takes all of the momentum out of the eepy Nappers' sails. They really just can't get any space at all. So like with the cleanup kill onto the medic is nice, but that being said, you're so far back here on second. As Whip is already in, really taking a lot of space, but Sharon's sitting up high. Can potentially go for a bomb straight onto Maxi. There's a lot of damage dealt, and you can see now the rest of the team is coming across. It's an instant demo one-shot.
That's what you love to see. That's the sword right there. It does a lot of damage. Obviously, Maxi gets a late death in as well as he's caught in behind. That's probably something he would have kill bound for, but hey, maybe he's waiting on Elku to still pull some weight here, who's desperately clinging onto life, somehow just maybe trying to escape out a big door here. Now he's going to be met with people on mid as well. It's a damn nightmare. Air's still hiding as well, mind you. Maybe going to be a bit of an X factor here as the mid gets reclaimed. And now there's a chance, perhaps, for eepy Nappers to come back into this round. Air's still fighting. Karen very much spotted him. Frenchie there to clean up as well. They do actually take down one. Let's make it two. All right. All right.
This is really nice
to follow up.
Another shot. They're doing such a good job of drawing the enemy back here, stalling for time. And this is going to allow a very aggressive forward position here. Suddenly, it's all crumbling for the eepy Nappers. Get caught. Maybe asleep a little bit, dare I say. As this is another kill for Potato. Has to sacrifice himself to keep his medic alive. But you can see Google as well, not in position with any of his teammates because they're getting forward spawns. So he's not healing at all right now.
Oh, it's disastrous, but somehow they still stabilize on second anyway. They got most of their players here. They're going to be able to at least hold this for a bit, but the Uber this sad, it's got to be something that's just burning really nastily on their backs now. They know that that's going to be a problem they have to deal with. And the worst case scenario could come in any minute now, but maybe last minute are being just ever so slightly passive about it as well. They're taking their time, eventually going through choke, hop a little bit late as well. Uber not quite there just yet, and they find Google at 98%, so that's not going to be an Uber in play for the eepy Nappers. Now it's just going to be on the cleanup. Get that scat out of the way, get that second scat out of the way. Charon trying his best here to maybe get that medic frag. Will clean it up at the very least. Probably a saving grace for trying to hold the last. But you still only have two players, one of them currently fighting in River. Frenchie does win that, but it's still scary. And Sola just having to somehow stabilize and set up some stickies in time here for the rest of these players just running in. Frenchie already floated into the skybox. Nobody on the point with two scouts capping. And it's another round going away last minute.
It's a really nice early kill there from Frenchie onto LK. If he doesn't win that 1v1, that point captures so much faster. But unfortunately for the eepy Nappers, it is just last minute realizing that they could just bomb right onto that point. Both scouts capping. As you're saying, no one is up in time. Unfortunately, Solo like forced back into his spawn. Can't look at the point. Doesn't have time for the stickies. That's another round. Now map point here for the side of last minute. Coming out. Guns blazing. So I watch Wolfie immediately mess up the rollout. Oops.
Oh, you love to see it. Anyway, let's see how this mid-fight goes. They're going same side again. Unfortunately, they've learned on the side of last minute. They're just going to cut them off with the stickies. Now the soldiers have to pull some weight. They do a bit of damage to Maxi, but unfortunately just get shut down by the scouts, and the rest of the team for eepy Nappers has to escape. Trying to get back out here as the chase is already underway as well. They're just deep in on second for last minute. They want to close this out as fast as possible. And it looks like it's going to be another last hold here for eepy Nappers at this rate, as there's already so much pressure on this team on last. They've just now get the spawners as well. Solar obviously off-causing the stickies to just try and shut these players out, but now they have to hold this and then also come back into this map. Mind you, they still have to win at least 2 rounds if they want to take it to a golden cap. Not only do they have to win this last hold first though, and that's already going to be something they have to try for, because the Evo exchange is underway and it's going to fade a little bit sooner for last minute, but they like to refight this, so they might.
It's weird though, right? You can see them sitting in river right now, but this heavy is up and does so much work denying space for the opponent, so they're just going to sit back for now. It's even Ubers as well. But I think, yeah, it's the eepy Nappers have kind of been figured out on mid, right? You can see it's just completely unplayable for Solar Light, who instantly runs up his own elbow to find 10 demo stickies in his face. And, like, what are you supposed to do? You can never take high ground on that map, on that mid, so instead, forced to sit in the low ground, watches the rest of his team falls, almost gets chased out into last, just barely surviving that. So now we're in a position where Google has built slightly more effectively, but this is not an advantage you push with at all, right? Level 3 gun, Pyro's up as well, and the pressure's already coming out. A lot of damage dealt with. Potato's sentry gun actually dealt with already. Sharon quite low, and this is maybe a bit pushable here for the side of last minute.
Not quite getting the rockets aligned with the air blast timing. Bit of out of sync, and it's enough to take the sentry down. Allows the soldier maybe to bomb in. Unfortunately, you get reflect air shot. That's you hate to see it. That's because that's not only do you die, but also you just fed your opponent a frag clip that's gonna go into a frag bit someday. So quite unfortunate, and it's enough to maybe get eepy Nappers out here with air going down as well. Karen's already in deep in big door, just being a bit of a flanky play here as the rest of the team pressures top and the lobby, and looks like they might just want to fancy themselves a chance to get in a second here. Wolfie going down as well makes it so there's a chance here to actually get something going, with the Ubers now being exchanged a lot later. For last minute, they decide to just drop both soldiers, I suppose, before now going for the refight, as Air just waltz in as together with Uncle Sam, but it's enough to shut these players out for now. They gotta deal with the stickies, and they're being delayed ever so slightly, so soldiers come back up and will be ready for the mid-fight, whatever that may look like for the side of eepy Nappers as they're trying to waltz on forward.
This is a bit scary though. So like goes in for the charge, unfortunately unsuccessful. Damage dealt to the blue mat as well, but Dodge managed to live. This is even Ubers, despite all of what we just saw, which was crazy, by the way. Nothing further is really going to happen. Obviously, the Nappers are going to take control of mid. Are they really going to be able to get much of else? They still have to bust through this choke, and even Ubers with stickies all over it. The soldiers have to do so much work trying to make space for their demo man to be able to charge in, and does get through, but at what cost? Everyone is wiped in choke, and it's just Potato alive as everyone's pushing from the flank as well. That is not what you want to see. Massive Uber disad now for the eepy Nappers, and I think maybe last minute are looking to deal the first little death blow here.
Yeah, that was disastrous. Both soldiers getting absolutely denied and choke, body blocked, floated, whatever it is, and then Solar can't quite nail the charge either. It's ambitious play that did not work whatsoever, and well, they're gonna try to hold this somehow. It's possible. We've seen teams do this before. Unfortunately, they're going for the left side sentry on the defense once more, and unless we can see the sniper hit a crazy shot to people coming in, nope, opting for the heavy instead. Probably the safer bet, but they're still gonna have to kite this Uber well, and that's going to be a tough choice as the Uber comes in through Shutter, straight away sentry spotted immediately. It's only level 2 anyway, not going to be doing much as the Heavy gets mulched before he can barely make it into spawn. Now the Uber has faded though, only a couple players down for the defenders. It's still possible if they can somehow find the frags, but they're not finding them. Solar down as well means the point is so unprotected. It's Friendship alone trying to do anything here, and yeah, that's not going to happen against 5 players rushing you down.
Elka sending him off with a nice little final air shot onto the enemy medic there. Really nice push from them. Coming in, just immediately recognizing big advantage. No one there on the point. They just collapse on the players. And there we go. 5-2 on map number 1 here of Gullywash. As I think, honestly, last minute just looked better. And they had the read on the Demo Knight as well. Really was not able to get the effectiveness that maybe he would have wanted. on this map number 1 here.
Again, I feel like a lot of it always is going to boil down to the map choices as well, right? Some maps Demo Knight is an absolute menace on. I believe Bagel is our second map, which is notoriously very favorable for Demo Knights because there are a lot more angles that you can just kind of charge from, blind angles where people won't see you as easily. Gullywash, it doesn't have that many of those, right? At least the points are very open. You tend to be able to see everything fairly easily where people are coming from, and you can prepare for the demo. On Bagel, that's a different story. There's a lot more sideways motion, right? A lot more diagonals that you can just hide in and stuff. So might be a different story. We'll see, I suppose. It's always possible that last minute are just going to lock in and they've been doing their Bagel homework and they're just going to be sweeping this as well and buying themselves a slot in the poLANd actual proper tournament, right? But for the time being, anything's still open, and there's some logs on screen as well, as you can see, players doing damage and all that. Whip was whipping out quite a lot of damage, actually.
Yep, and you can see counter that. The Demo Knight was also in the game. As yep, bit of a demo diffy there, to be honest. It's you hate to see it. But, yeah. Okay, guys, we need to reiterate really quick. Allegedly, there are 3 slots that you can get to get into poLANd. There's a lot of invited teams, obviously, but we have a few slots left, and these are the qualifiers for those last 3 remaining slots. You play them, you get in, but you kind of got to win a lot. This is, the eepy Nappers are playing with at least 1 Merc, as unfortunately fnutek is not here. He's usually on Scout, and that means Potato's on Soldier usually. But then, no fnutek means Potato on Scout. Got Frenchie Merking. And, maybe that's the excuse, Sonny.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's also, like, I think the roster is slightly different from the one that we saw at Uberfest. I think they have a couple of players swapped around. Maybe that's also a cope they can live with, right? Maybe the synergy just isn't quite there yet. Because the problem that always comes with the Demo Knight teams is they can be effective. Obviously, depends on the opponents. We saw it with the Odin team. There were times when they were quite surprisingly effective, even against very experienced and skillful players. The problem is you just need a team that really works around that Demo Knight, right? And that requires a lot of time, a lot of strategizing, a lot of commitment to, really figuring out the perfect strategies to work with it. And even then, you're doing something unproven. You have nothing to really fall back on to get that material from. You can only really learn on the job from experience. So if you're going to be shuffling your roster around a lot, it's going to make it a lot harder to pull it off to the same degree of success that you might have seen before with players who had more experience, were more used to that Demo Knight playstyle. Because it is a big thing. You don't have that demo anchoring you in terms of damage, right? Your soldiers have to pick up the slack on that. Your scouts have to, try even harder to clean up, and then occasionally you get like an insane Demo Knight frag, sure, but you really got to enable him as well.
Yeah, and I think last minute we're doing a really good job of sort of denying the Demo Knight a lot of opportunities as well. Obviously, I don't think Gullywash is a particularly good map for demo. You can see, especially on mid, those stickies in elbow completely ruined him. He couldn't do anything, right? Obviously, Bagel is a bit of a different map. It's much easier to sort of get in a position where you can charge across. However, Bagel is also a really, really good map for normal demo men.
Yeah, that's true.
Some are saying maybe the best, especially if you watch how you play it in Prem. A lot of the strats involve tanking Lucas, tanking Demo, tanking Zams, letting them do infinite damage behind the point, and then the rest of your team can follow up. Instead, now you're putting a lot more burden once again onto your scouts and onto your soldiers for this Demo Knight to really have the space that he needs to be able to get in the first place. It looks like last minute are happy enough to wait for him to charge through and then just deal with him when he comes. And if you just have 4 people clicking him at the same time, the time to kill in TF2 is the way it is. You are just gonna kind of get one shot, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like you need to somehow create chaos when you're the Demo Knight team. You need to make sure that people can't just easily know where your Demo Knight is, focus them down or whatever. You need to constantly have people looking everywhere, get confused about where aggression is coming from. As soon as you have most of the team in your vision or under your control, then you win just off the control alone, off of positioning, off of the map presence. And That's going to be something that eepy Nappers will have to figure out here now on Bagel. It is a map where it's a bit easier to pull off the Demonite. Mentioned it plenty of times now. So it should work in their favor more. They have more chances to make something happen here, but they have to find those openings. They have to find that right balance of chaos where they're still kind of in control versus, last minute just getting kind of confused by it. But obviously last minute, even if it's a scramble together team, they're doing pretty all right. They're clearly on top of it. They have plenty of experience amongst their ranks, at least, in some capacities. So they know how to play the game. These players, they might not be Prem, but they know how to play the game. They know the basics of it. They understand that if you kill the enemy playmaker, aka the Demonite, you probably have nothing to worry about. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they work with that chaos. I think if eepy Nappers can pull that off on this map, we might see a map 3. Otherwise, with how it's been going, I think last minute are buying themselves that slot for poLANd.
Yep, would be very nice to see. Obviously, everyone, as many people as possible, poLANd is optimal, at least in my eyes, Sonny.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, venue only so big, only so many computers, and when you have a bunch of Americans who are gracing us with their presence,
shockingly keen,
surprisingly so, I might add. I'm very impressed. So they all want to lose to Witness.
Yeah, and to admirable. fancy, supposedly, allegedly. Allegedly, fancy is coming to LAN, so that's gonna be interesting. Well, I guess we'll see how that goes. Can you imagine? Okay, imagine just the timeline though, where eepy Nappers somehow make it to LAN. Now they just lock in for the next 2 maps, and then Banny goes up against them and loses.
I don't think Banny just loses a map. Imagine just I'm going to be very honest. I've been watching a little bit of Froyo Tech. I think, Sonny, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty good at TF2.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they're kind of good.
Okay, if we go with the narrative, imagine this was what if this was Denver Froyo Tech? Would the narrative shift?
Nah, they're too good. Unfortunately, I do still think there's a bit of a class difference. We have to remember the other team that we had a Demonite on that was in Prem was also by far the worst team in Prem. And they had a perma-sniper who had to get 50 frags every game to make it slightly competitive, right?
Yeah.
This team does not have a perma-sniper hitting every headshot every 2 seconds. So, yeah.
And also the team that, when that Demonite team made Prem, was the one season where nobody played.
We don't need to talk about that bit. That's fine. Give them a benefit of the doubt.
I guess. They won a couple of maps, here and there. They got something. I guess it's something they can hang their hat on. It's an achievement nonetheless. Anyway, Bagel. I like this map. I think it's funny. I think it's fun that we have. Like I mean, I say it's the novelty. Bagel's been around. We've been playing it for like 7 years at this point or something. But it's a novelty of like having another KOF map, right? For the longest time, we only had Product, and Product is great. It's a great KOF map. There's a reason it's the only KOF map we play for the longest time. But I'm glad that Bagel has like managed to establish itself as like, something a little bit different that is still like KOF, so we can at least see a bit of variety in the map pool every once in a while. I like that.
I like it also because it's a KOF map, but it plays nothing like Product as well, right?
It plays completely differently.
Which is super nice. It's a lot more focused on setting up and sort of getting control of your flanks and using those to sort of, you send in your 2v2 on the flank, and then whoever wins that get to sort of launch a play behind the enemy lines and sort of try to get a decisive victory. It's super nice. There's a lot of weird tech that we're developing being developed by certain mad scientists, maybe from Estonia, who may or may not be running PermNG on this map, which is really funny to watch. Not the most successful thing I've ever seen, but it is funny.
It is funny, and that's what matters. The rule of funny sometimes is all that matters. I guess that's something. No, yeah, it plays very much differently because like in comparison, like Bagel is also like, I don't know, like it feels a little bit more open, as in like big doors that you can just kind of like go everywhere horizontally wherever you want, whereas Viaduct has like that hill that you go up, and it's a lot more enclosed. There's like 2 separate areas basically. It's a lot more open in terms of Bagel, how you transition between areas. Anyway, the map is starting. We'll see how this first fight unfolds, and perhaps it spells how the rest of it will go as well. But we'll see who takes ahead the first little victory in this first little fight, as opposed to who has to sit back for the next 15 minutes as the map just slips away from them. That being said, both teams being rather cautious so far. Not really wanting to do anything, just kind of spamming each other out, looking at what's going. No soldiers jumping, no excessive spam across the point or anything. A lot of cap time being put down by eepy Nappers early, but it seems to be about it really with the aggression so far. I guess they're both just kind of waiting on their Ubers at this point and maybe seeing if they can somehow win on the flank. So like going into low, there you go. That's that taken care of. Charon going down as very low as well, but will trade out for Wolfie at the very least, and it's going to be a 1 point for the side of last minute after all.
It's a bit scary now. Look at Maxi's HP. Very, very low. Does she drop? And Potato as well in this flank. Not winning the 1v1, but that's going to alleviate a bit of pressure here onto the red side. Managed to maintain control of point for now. You can see Yone really just tanking that Uber forwards. The scout trade coming across. Not going to find much of anything, but does force a few flashes. As Ad does get taken down here as well. So in the post-Uber, actually the eepy Nappers taking control of this point. That means that air is going to spawn way earlier here.
Yeah, it's almost like he never died at all. It's such a quick respawn. It's just a little reset, basically, and, well, the point flips so quickly at the end of the day on this map, it doesn't matter that much. You don't have to pressure it too much to really get it to flip. It's going to be more down to how long you can control it after that, and, well, that's going to be favoring last minute a little bit here again. They have to spam across the point with Whip, just putting down those stickies, shutting players out. They're going to recap that point immediately, and it's down to Nappers to really try and make a play happen here at this point. Soldiers bomb across, getting some sort of frag. They have really been lacking those kills so far. Soldier goes in for the charge, gets onto Whip. Oh, that's a big one already. That enables at least a little bit of aggression out of his team. Unfortunately, he might just get shut down now, but he might just also get away with charging out and living. Yeah, because Demonite is stupid and has it's way too tanky.
Sharon just in behind with a flank onto the medic. So much damage dealt. And that's Maxi taken down. It's a really nice flank play coming in from the blue soldier. Elkir is in behind, and at least for the moment, kind of unspotted. There we go. Potato's just in the air, beating him, but it's a lot of damage dealt actually onto Google. Gonna get jumped quite low. Aggression dealt with for now. So timer's on point, effectively even, but this is a massive advantage here for the Nappers, and you can see at last minute they want nothing to do with this midpoint right now.
They do have Uncle Sam fall forward though, and he's completely unspotted, just hiding out. Maybe just gonna go for this challenge frag. It's certainly something to trade out for. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get it. Solar's just gonna clean that one up. Now he's healthy, and he's just gonna be sitting pretty here. Got another charge ready soon as well, so they gotta be careful now. When they turn this corner, there could be a Demonite with a crit sword in their face any moment, and that's always scary. But they have enough cohesion to just push out as a team, pressure back everybody else, get some ground here again, and I'll give themselves a chance to fight this somehow. The Uber's coming up soon as well, so unless Nappers use soon, it's going to be an even fight, and at that point, we'll see how the positioning favors them. They use fairly quickly now, but unfortunately, Maxi's going to have Uber to respond with if even so necessary. Doesn't even have to use, finally decides to use it on Uncle Sam as the Uber face for the other side, and even if the point isn't capped just yet, finally is. That's a lot of Uber to just try and chase this out with. It finally fades. Solar tries to go for the charge in, does not find the sword hit though. Will he get the frag? No, not quite, but it was close.
That's 20 HP there on Maxi, barely living. One sword kill away, one little bit of scout spam as well onto her, and that is a game over here on this round. There's only a minute left on the side of the eepy Nappers as they lose control of the point for now, but still kind of big advantage. You can see the health bar's not quite there for the side of last minute, but Whip is. So much damage coming across now. 2 players down for the side of the eepy Nappers. They can't get across this point. Solar Light dancing around, looking for an opportunity to get in, but it is very hard for the moment. So just going to be edging the cap. No demo man up for the opposing team, so they will be able to cap the point. Are they going to be able to press the advantage even more?
They have so much to work with in terms of position, but they didn't move forward soon enough. Now there's the re-aggression out of last minute. They're immediately back on that point. They're even probably going to go for this Uber immediately across the point. There you go. Equal situation in terms of this exchange. Nobody flashing excessively so far. Solo's going to have to get one of those charges in. Has to bash the scout though. Means his charge gets denied. He doesn't get the crit swing, and they have to settle for a Wolfie frag being the only thing they have so far. Still, they're up a minute on the timer. Put aside of the Nappers, so they can at least afford a little bit of a respite here. Just take a small break. Maybe wait a little bit for your team to reassess the situation before you really try to repush. But Uncle Sam down as well. They might have an opportunity. Caron in with a big bomb onto Maxi as well. That means no heals. Now Solar's in with a nice little trim to get that kill cleaned up onto Elkir. It's only Air trying to do anything, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Wolfie's managed to slip in. All right. Missed
What a
that low
shot
detail.
from Wolfie. I was about to sing the praises there of Chow and Potato, who set up such a nice flank into the enemy house, just completely crunching down on Maxi. But Wolfie with the game saver there.
Okay,
As Solo
yep.
Light just in onto Maxi, never mind. Many Uber advantage is eliminated, and the
Okay.
Demo Knight is going massive. 3 kills for him as Wolfie doesn't quite find the follow-up air shot. Instead, is the Demo Man with a katana in his face. Does get cleaned up, but it's Uncle Sam all on his own on point, and that is going to be the EP Nappers capping that point up.
That is when Demo Knight gets scary. When he starts snowballing like that. You get him in the midst of 3 people, and he's in range to hit all of them, and then he heals every time he hits one of them as well. He's so tanky, you can't kill him, you're out of ammo yourself. That's when it gets scary. And that's probably what secured them the round in that final little push there. Now, we're up 1 round on the side of EP Nappers. First time they're in the lead, really. You just have to repeat it a couple more times if they want to take themselves to 3rd map. Otherwise, they're not going to have any chance of going to LAN. Well, at least not as players. So I guess we'll have to see how they approach this this time around. A little bit more proactive this time, it seems. A little bit more active, at least on the left side here. Early, obviously, the plays just being mirrored by Last Minute as well, who are being even more aggressive on their flank side. And might just get the first cap again with how much point pressure they're putting down. Eventually, there's a bit coming out of EP Nappers as well, but still, no players getting fragged out this side. Is gonna be the first cap. Go on the side of Last Minute once more. We'll have to see how EP Nappers try to respond to this now.
It's so much pressure here. Wolfie forced to hold that house on his own. But Whip is in such a nice position there behind the point. So much damage dealt. Unfortunately, the second charge for Solar Light is about as effective as his first of the round. Not finding anything at all. So now the Uber Trade can come out, but Sharon is once again in behind. And it's so scary because the red health bars are non-existent. It's complete cleanup for the EP Nappers on mid here.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Not only do they get the point off of it, of course, but they shut down so much out of Last Minute here as well in terms of like a refight or anything that they could have had for re-aggression here, right? They have to wait for the whole team now to come back. It's a bit of a forward hold as well that they're gonna bust through pretty quickly, obviously, because there's no demo putting down stickies, but they still have to trade for the Charon frag. They still have to deal with Frenchie as well as far forward. They trade out Whip for Potato. It's going pretty well for the Nappers still. Solar Light finds the frag onto Wolfie as well. And obviously now that he's so healthy, he can just go in behind and be a nuisance there. Uncle Sam trying his best, just gets cleaned up immediately as well. Once you're in charge range of that Demo Knight and you can't just jump away as a soldier, you're cooked, bro. You have to pray he misses the swing somehow, because you're in danger.
This is the entirety of Last Minute in super big danger here in the round as well. You can see the Uber not quite there for them at all. They're forced to sit so far back, but with no stickies on the enemy team, the forward hold, not that much of a threat. But you know what is a threat? It is Sharon in behind through house once again, as he's already sitting in that perfect position, completely uncontested. And so this Uber can come out, but what is it realistically going to do? Maxi's Uber is going to fade soon. No real damage coming across so far. Whip does a lot, but there's no one there to clean it up. So now Wolfie on a mission on his own to try and get this kill onto the medic. Does manage to find it, but where's the follow-up? Everyone's stuck dealing with Solar Light onto the point. And so Yona can bomb in, but there are no scouts left up in this post-Uber situation for Last Minute. So now Solar Light can come in and he could just clean up on his own. It's a 5-kill streak, and I don't know if Uncle Sam can find him either. He's trying to hit the shot, but it's just Solar Light finding more and more. Frenchie, that's a follow-up there as well.
It's so dangerous on this fight because the Demo Knight can literally just stand behind the nipple on the point, right? You can't see him, you don't know he's there, but he's right next to you, and then he just charges your demo. And Whip's gone down to a charge like that like at least 3 times at this point. Just Solar charging around the point in completely blind angle, and unless you catch him immediately with like a rocket or a big meat shot to just stunt his momentum, he's gonna kill your demo. You really have to watch out for that, and it's really been catching him out over and over again. They're gonna try to get the point back again. For this time around, they managed to kite him well enough, but he still lives anyway as he surfs away. Frenchie's the only one to fall for the side of Nappers, and even if the point is in control of Last Minute, they're not in control of the situation. They have to deal with Charm behind, they have to deal with Potato as well, who's just gonna try to go for the med here. Doesn't quite get the frag onto Maxi just yet. Close, but couldn't quite get it. Wolfie, in the meantime, tried to do the same on the other side, and actually did get Google down, I believe, so it is turning in the favor of Last Minute ever so slightly. But that being said, they still have to hold on to it for a while. The timer is not in their favor at all, and there's Frenchie in already in behind. Okay, gets cleaned up. Never mind. They hit the meat shots.
This is now Last Minute in a position where they can set up a forward hold, should they please. So charging Demo Knight is going to be attempting to break it, but they need to run down so much time here on the clock compared to their opponents. And I think really most of their struggles are coming from the fact that they just have no control over these flank houses. Sharon is able to do so much work just getting him behind. No one had to deal with him at all, so instead his Uncle Sam rather, going in through house as the Ubers popped in, trying to get a bunch of frags, and they do. But unfortunately, that is just going to be a four-man sack here for the EP Nappers, who managed to keep their medic just entirely safe in spawn. With now massive Uber advantage, everyone's going to come up. And this is the push, and they're going to be looking to take it all now, Sunny.
Yeah, that's a big Uber to work with, and they do need it. That time advantage has bled away slowly but surely. They're not as much up as they were anymore, so this push has to stick. Unfortunately for Solar, nobody's close on the point, so that charge was into nothing, but he does live, so he's going to be able to rotate around here. And that's in so deep onto the enemy side before they finally use the Uber. Now, how well will they kite it? Does it matter? They already lost 2 to it. And they're not going to be able to re-aggress anytime soon, as the point is slowly getting capped up as well. They're down 3 players. They might get their own Uber in time, but they still have to wait for the team to come back as well. And all of EP Nappers are going to try to somehow set up a bit of a defense here that will really keep them at bay. Timers are still equal. Uber now up from Maxi. And this one has to stick now for last minute, as the tables have turned the other way. This push has to really make something happen.
Charon is in! And a massive jump here from Charon just completely eliminates the Uber from contention. However, it is last minute surging forwards in onto the enemy side. So many players falling to Solar Light left alive, and somehow, last minute anyway, managed to find this every single frag.
Sometimes you just have to use your medic as bait. Just leave your med behind and then just hold W, as everybody else on the enemy team is kind of just maybe reeling from that med frag, who knows. Now is a nice opportunity for EP Nappers here to try and get something back on the board. If they get enough frags here or get something crucial, that's 1 frag onto a scout, a little bit of captain being put down as well. They can't really afford to let this happen on the last minute, but they're down 3 players, and they have to deal with this somehow. Get back on that point immediately, but there's Whip taken care of, and there's nobody that can really try to do anything. It's Wolfie on his lonesome. He's not going to be able to get that point flipped either, so it's another round going away to Demo Knight. It just simply, it seems too tough to beat right now.
They really need an answer to Charon in on the flank here. He's getting so much work done alongside Potato, right? See, every single time, Whip is in an amazing position, sitting on point, but it's coming at the cost of the fact that they just have no control over the right side house, and it's allowing the enemy flank to get in for absolutely free. And once that bomb can come in, combine it with a Demo Man charging from the front, it looks like the last minute just have no answer whatsoever. It's just Wolfie left to hold this door, and it's just not enough for him on his own. I think he needs a lot of support. See Charon already aggressing along with 3 more players, and Wolfie just can't but buckle. Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's clinical. Like, surgically removing Whip there as a follow-up as well, and it's gonna be a wipe unless Elker manages, just narrowly might manage to escape here, but good lord, that's what you like to see for the Demo Knight team. And it's that little bit of chaos I was talking about, right? Obviously, yeah, having your flank wide open enables that chaos to come through, but with that coordination and chaos coming through, that Demo Knight suddenly, from becoming like a very docile thing that you can just kind of shut down as he waltzes towards you, it becomes such a threat as well, right? Out of nowhere, you might be busy, okay, I'm dealing with this bombing soldier, and then a demo just comes out of nowhere and does 200 damage to you. Like, what do you do at that point, right? You really have to be on top of it, and they're struggling on the side of the last minute to really deal with it. They trade air for Frenchie, but then trade Elker out as well, so they're still not even winning this fight for the point right now, and they're actually not going to get much cap time beyond that, I think. Whip very far forward, trying to see if he can shut something down here. Doesn't quite pop the stickies for Charon, and that's him taken out of the equation. Uncle Sam is also just going to feed, and they can't even get the force out of Google, which is what probably they were trying to do, would be my assumption.
Last minute really collapsing here. They're gifting the enemy team so much more time by bleeding these players out one after another. They had an amazing flank position, but unfortunately just not coordinated well enough. They bleed players one by one, trying to get in onto the flank. But instead, they're allowing this time to just tick down for the enemy. So now a trade is going to come out onto Yon. There's a lot of damage dealt, but Maxi's popping way later. It's Uncle Sam leading the charge. But this is Charon once again doing a lot of work onto the flank. Elkin already dead. So like going through the charge forwards to find much of anything at all. So now it looks like, at least for the moment, it is last minute taking control of point, and it's a scary position here for the side of the EP Nappers. A lot of damage dealt, but no real forwards follow-up coming across. Frenchie once again is in on the flank, in onto Maxi, and she's just taken down.
The soldiers are getting away with so much, man, on the side of Nappers. They really have. It's a free playground. They can just do whatever they want, and man, it's working well for them. I mean, to be fair, they still haven't quite got control of point back, right? They got the maxi frag. That's all they have in their pocket right now. But even then, even if they have to play it a little bit slower, it's a big Uber ad to work with at this point. They're just going to be able to retake the point off the back of that at the very least. And I mean, we'll see what Sharon and Frenchie whip out, right? They might just get away with something again on the flank as well, as they're trying to do something similar. Wolfie bombs across, lots of damage onto Google. Second sword falling up as well. They do eventually get that frag as well, so that's huge here for last minute to keep themselves in this. Even if they've lost the point, they will be able to retake it fairly confidently, should they have to wait for their own Uber maybe, but still, like, they're in a better position than they were about 10 seconds ago.
But they're not able to immediately aggress onto this medic advantage because Whip is caught out in house once again. Now the other side is the one that's bleeding as Frenchie and Potato are in across so much damage dealt here. It's already one player falling. Maxi just completely crunched by the enemy soldiers, and that's an advantage gone in a heartbeat.
So beautiful as well. The soldiers come into that concrete slab at the same exact time to just make sure that medic does not escape with anything here whatsoever. And they have so much time now, right? They're up a minute again on the side of Nappers. They have plenty of time to just wait this one out. Air trying to hide forward, unfortunately gets spotted immediately and taken care of. But I guess you can appreciate it trying to do something as the rest of Nappers now make their way forward. Big Uber in their pocket. And unless this double soldier bomb out of Wolfie and Elker works out again, as Elker already goes high for it. Google gets a little bit of damage, gets the second one around as well, but they can't quite clean it up. Unfortunately, Google dodges a bit too well this time around. They're not going to be able to clean that medic frag up. There's going to be a full Uber in the pocket, and they might just use it to get into this team as well. They will. Maybe a bit ambitious. They really have to chase to try and get onto Maxi here, and they won't, so perhaps a misused Uber, but at the end of the day, it just, well, solidifies their hold on this point, I guess.
But it's also, Maxi was really far forwards there. Thankfully has 2 scouts to escort her out, but a very difficult position. Now stuck all the way back in lower here. You can just see the soldier pressure is immediate from Frenchie and Sharon. A lot of damage dealt. Potatoes in as well. A solo like a charge forwards, and it is so many players falling. Whip manages to find a little high ground, but Maxi just dies before the fight can even begin. So Frenchie now stuck on point, does take a lot of damage, but solo light's there to clean up. There's only 2 players left. And somehow, someway, I think last minute, they're once again just barely crawling themselves into this round. But you have to wait to cap the point until after Whip has spawned, and it's just giving so much time for the opponent here. 18 seconds left now for the EP Nappers.
If they get that point again, it might just be GG's at that point, so last minute cannot afford to have another misstep here. They really have to have this point on lockdown now. Taking out Potato early opens things a little bit on this right side here, as the rest of EP Nappers are on the low ground, so if you get your soldiers around, Wolfie's already in behind. Solite, in the meantime, charges into the combo, gets taken care of by the scouts. They've realized that you can just shoot the demo man. It is possible. You can just shoot him, and then he's dealt with, as Frenchie gets taken down as well as Sharon gets taken down. So, hey, they've held on for now. Not much has happened. Fortunately for the EP Nappers, Google has stayed alive, obviously, so this Uber disad isn't going to be all that much. It's not going to be too much to write home about, and they have another opportunity to get into this, but it's on last minute. They need to keep themselves in this. If they lose this round, it's over. They're going to map 3, so they really have to stay on top of it now. They cannot afford to let anything slip through.
This is a very scary positioning. Whoever gets the better of this post Uber is going to win the round. As Uber comes straight in on both teams, and Solo Light has to charge away defensively. Google just still sits around the point, but there's no positioning here for either side on the point at all, to be honest. It's one air up on top, but it's a lot of damage dealt. The stickies from Whip are massive. A Solo Light just eats all of them as he tries to charge forwards. Doesn't manage to find much of anything. The point cap is going to get quite low here for the side of the EP Nappers, as they do manage to wrest control of it, but should they lose it at any point, it is a round over for the side of last minute. 10 seconds, all that remains from the opposing side as well. So you can see both teams just sitting back, healing up. They're going to get ready for one last fight as Uncle Sam leading the charge straight onto Frenchie. Doesn't find it as a Demo Man kill onto Whip. Comes out straight away. Jonna is dead as well, and that's Potato eating so much damage. To clean up might just barely be there in time for last minute. Solo Light does not find the charge kill at all. One soldier left in house, and there we go. Last minute barely crawls out on top of that round. It was a close last one we saw, but this one close as well. Now 2-1. They still have to keep this in contention. Are they starting to crack the mystery of how you play against the Demo Man on this map?
Yeah, we're definitely doing a lot better at shutting him down towards the tail end of that round. So Maybe they're finding it. Now it's going to be a question of stamina, right? They have to do it 2 more times. 2 more rounds like that are going to really tear away at your stamina and at your momentum, right? So you really want to try to make this happen a little bit quicker if you're going to start running away with it. And unfortunately for them, Sharon is already in so deep. Solar is there with a follow-up as well. Potato opts to go for the point route and they decided, well, let's try the same maybe. See if we can send something across. Elka just trying to be a flashbang. Unfortunately, has to pay with his life. Uncle Sam is taken down as well. But crucially, they find Google on the other side. So no heals for the Nappers as long as you can keep Maxi safe, which is going to be a high order with, you know, 5 players charging her down and eventually getting the frag. But hey, it was an effort made at least.
Yeah, they really just commit onto that left side house, but unfortunately, that positioning in the post Uber, when you sacrifice 3 players getting onto the opponent medic, it is so hard to get Maxi out alive. So she's going to get taken down. And suddenly that Uber advantage that you have is completely gone. Your medic is not there. And this sort of post Uber fight is very weird. I'm surprised if we're going in this early. It's an early kill onto air, but Solai is turning away from Wolfie here. I don't know. I don't like it, Sunny.
It's positioning so bad for last minute as well. They're trying to get a bit of cap time now, and eventually they coalesce. They get the heals in position as well. They manage to, you know, get something going here with a little bit of point pressure at least. But Whip has to do so much on his lonesome for so long before Soldier finally comes around Elker with a bump onto Google. Doesn't quite get the rockets though. The cleanup is there though with the help as well. They managed to get that kill cleaned up. So well, it was a slight disadvantage as once again turned into an advantage as Air gets taken down behind. But hey, at that point, you know, you were just trying to be a bit greedy. Sharon can't quite get what he wants either, with 2 players defending the medic, and looks like for the first time in a while, last minute might just kind of be in control. That being said, almost half the time is already ticked off for eepy Nappers while that all happens, so they have to be in control for a while now. With a big Uber ad, that's certainly feasible, but there's already pressure coming out, so like, whoa, a nice charge, but doesn't quite get on, and Maxi pops to the threat of Frenchie bombing as well. Can't blame her necessarily, but that means this Uber is effectively wasted. It's not getting much more out of it. And, well, they're gonna have a 50% ad roughly out of side of Nappers.
Yeah, you might see 4 players falling there on the side of the Nappers and think, how is Sunny saying that this is not an effective Uber? But Solar Light and his medic are just completely untouched and spawn the whole time. And next Google's such a massive Uber advantage here to repush. You lose barely any time because the opponent just captures the point, right? They have instant spawns. They're going to come right back in, already massive ad, and we really need to see last minute getting this Uber out straight away.
Yeah, they really don't get a chance to do it. They're just gonna run straight in. Google hasn't even had to pop yet. They're just gonna walk all the way into the enemy lobby before finally seeing what they can do here. Yone trying everything just on his lonesome. Can he get that kill cleaned up? Yes, he can. Maxi out of the equation means that this Uber has not gone to waste. Google might just die himself now, though, as he took the worst possible route to get out. Where's my Uber driver taking me? Straight to the respawn queue, apparently. They did get the point in the meantime, but it's not gonna be theirs for long. And, Potato is behind, but I don't will be able to do it. I mean, Maxi's protected by 2 players. Whip is very far forward, so that's not a power pick you can get here either, and it's just gonna be... Well, I guess you can wait for the chaos, somehow.
This is a sleeper agent in the back, waiting to be activated. The second it gets chaotic and a demo man might charge in front of your face. Both soldiers now jumping forwards and the Uber is going to be popped straight away by Maxi. But still, it's Uncle Sam dropping Elkit really low as well. And suddenly this post-Uber fight is not looking good for the side at last minute. Maxi dead once again as the Uber charge could just come forwards here from the side of the eepy Nappers as the demo comes forwards, finds no kills, but a lot of space. And this is going to capture the point. Medic is going to spawn now. We capture the point. Suddenly everything's all good in the hood. We're fine. We're chilling.
I'm noticing this round has a common theme where both medics just don't get to play the game now. They're both just dead all the time. Shut down by some random flank managing to get the best of them. But hey, if that is something that propels the round forward and keeps it roughly even on the timers, so be it. If that's what it takes for last minute to have a chance of getting back into this game fully, so be it. As they put some more point pressure down once more. Yone trying to block it a little bit for a while, but the point will flip as Maxi just gets charged down by Solo Light. Never mind. It's, yep, that's GG's, I think, for this, this fight already. Unless they can get onto Google, who's very much protected far back and has no immediate danger befalling him anytime soon. Sure, the timer might just be in favor of last minute now, but it won't be for long. It won't be for long.
This is a bit scary here. Post-Uber position for the side of the eepy Nappers. A lot of damage though from Whip onto Yone. Ends up eating a pipe. Something without 2 scouts gets a bit scarier. Of course, air is immediately traded, so
Oh.
Solar can trade in with the enemy demo man. There's a lot of damage dealt though onto Charon. The position is a bit precarious. Solar likes to try to jump up forwards and actually just finds everything. The charge coming forward, 1 soldier is left in-house, and Wolfie needs to find a shot here onto Google. Doesn't find anything. LKM behind, gets cleaned up. Timers are still even, but this is very much in the favor of the eepy nappers here.
They're still in this, very much so. We're trying to take it to that 3rd map, and at this rate, it's looking very, very likely that may just happen. I guess it depends on just how last minute try to approach this. They have one opportunity here. Whip goes down already, though. Solar gets the best of him once more. Just didn't quite have his corners checked as he charges around. That's Uncle Sam taking care of as well. They're down 2 players. I'll make it 3 as they're trying to go up against whatever is this defense that they're being mounted with. And yeah, they're just not finding the players there in time. Whip might just be able to jump to point in time if he really wanted to, but that timer is going to tick down very quickly. And there you go. It's a 3-1 for the demo night. Kind of predicted this would happen, and we're going to be going to a map 3, which I have forgotten what that is, but I guess we'll know. Sunshine. Interesting. It's better for demo night than Gully, but I feel like last minute are going to have a better time on that again.
Yeah, I think the story for me, really, this map was Charon had such a good map.
Yeah.
Really, really effective on that flank, and the rest of his team really feasting because of it, right? He gets so much space in that one house, and it just opens the door the whole time. Just last minute, unable to deal with it whatsoever. The pressure just so much higher. And they really just exploit it. Once there's that 1-2 players in behind, it gets so much easier for SolarLite to sort of either work off the distraction or be the distraction himself as he charges across that point. Unfortunately, that is just late, or last minute rather, just unable to deal with it. Really big ups to Charon. I think he really did such a good job setting up his team the whole way.
Yeah, the flank being wide open the entire time, just really enabling that chaos play, enabling that like split attention, right? Getting the attention off of your demo knight the whole time. And you saw it a few times they didn't manage to do that. The few times they actually had all of their attention on the demo knight and managed to take him down immediately. That's when last minute started doing well, right? That's when they won the round. That's when they took it close. So as long as they got it, they got it. But yeah, there's the logs on screen. Look at the damage that everybody dealt, really. Even, like SolarLite's still top and bottom damage, but for a demo night, 27 frags, that makes up for it.
Yep. I mean, this is what happens when your flank is in control on a map like this, right? Like, you just have so much more space to work with. So there you go. 27 frags, better than Wolfie, who, even despite the sort of really getting gapped, I think, a bit in the flank, sort of left a bit to dry on his own, had a decently impressive performance as well. But, I mean, yeah. It is a high-octane Bagel game, and the damage numbers will be big. You know what? The damage numbers are not going to be big, though, Sunny. But a very slow, methodical, chill, intelligent, like sort of chess match type Sunshine game.
Are you like manifesting that, or have you
know
seen
what I'm
the
thinking
future?
About, to be honest? There are too many weird ramps and geometries on Sunshine Mid for there not to be the weirdest, like, trippiest trimp I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so, fun story. I think this was at, I want to say I-65. I remember going to, it was on a team, I think, actually, with Solar. And for, like, the majority of the LAN, he would just spend, like, because he was still playing Hybrid Night around that time, he would just spend like the entirety of the LAN practicing trimps on like all maps, especially Process, which in some layouts with ramps and stuff is fairly similar to Sunshine. And there's some interesting trims that you can hit. The slightest of inclines certainly enable quite a bit. You saw it on Gullywash mid a little bit with the beam, right? The diagonal beam that goes up to the point. But that's about all you get on Gully. On Sunshine, you get a lot more that you can just kind of trim and strafe off of, and it becomes a mess. So I guess we'll see. We'll see if they let him get away with just a crazy charge across mid by flying high, or whether they shut him down.
Yep, that is incredible lore. Just dropped by producer Beta in the Memo channel that you guys cannot hear. But this was I believe map 3 of the Uberfest Open.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh, the entire map pool was the same. including maps 1 and 2. And this game, against Dr. Phil main classing, by the way, cringe. We watched this go all the way to a really long golden cap.
Yep.
And I can tell you after that, I talked to them a little bit. They said some words in Danish that probably should not be said on stream about having to play against a demo man or demo knight.
It did get them sweating for a while, yeah. They were struggling a bit towards the tail end of that. So anything's possible here, and in a way that could actually be a little dire for last minute, because when you compare that Danish team and the talent present on that compared to what you have on last minute, I wouldn't say that last minute are terrible, obviously, but overall, I think that Danish team was probably a little stronger.
They were also like average age 37.
Yeah,
I'm making that up, but like.
No, I think that's pretty apt, actually. I think F2 alone was probably dragging it up quite a bit.
Dude, meeting F2 in real life was so crazy. I kept walking around the whole LAN. I would just walk around, I look at people, and go like, he's a LAN champion, by the way.
That's true.
He won I-43. No one can take that away from him.
That's a legacy title right there. Anyway, yeah, so going back to this match, focus enough about the Danes, the old Danes. How is last minute gonna get back in this? Because not only are they playing from behind now, in terms of momentum, right? Because they have to somehow find their footing back in this. They also probably got extremely demoralized by getting kind of molested by a demo knight for an entire map. It's not something you really have easily stabilize off of. I think some players might be a little upset off the back of that. I guess we'll see how they feel about it. We already see that somebody is just not in the server, aka
Wolfie.
Wolfie's just I guess taking a small break or something. Maybe
don't worry about it.
Maybe it's just over. Maybe they're getting a merc. I don't know what's happening at this point, but we can interpret all we want into that. But you gotta stabilize
food,
this.
Yeah, going to the bathroom, smoking a cigarette, taking the dog for a walk. Cat's on fire. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
A quick work meeting. It's only going to be 15 minutes.
Yeah, my boss is calling me. 1 sec. No, I don't know. I think, to be honest, I don't think there's a very real world where I think you look at that last map, you go, it was Koth. That's the best demo night map by far. We leave that what it was. We still kind of had 2 rounds where we almost won a lot of them. Very close the whole time. And now you're back on a real map. Sunshine, 6s. Yes, there's going to be a demo man flying in your face. But last time it was a 6s map, like a real map. Everything was fine. When we dealt with the demo man, he couldn't do anything, couldn't play. And everything was chill. I think that's the mentality you go with. You're A-okay. That being said, Sonny, I'm so excited. I don't entirely know how chimping works and how it's going to happen, but I just know it will. My heart of hearts, we're going to go to the first mid, and Solar Light will be in the skybox, charging at the enemy medic, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm so excited.
It is a fun thing. I mean, I think if they played a high ground better, they didn't really do it that well on the side of last minute on Bagel, but if they played a high ground better on Sunshine now, I think they're going to have an easier time dealing with the Demo Knight. The big thing, even if he can trimp and fly, he can only do that once. And if he's in the air, he's a very predictable trajectory that he's going to be on. So, if you can play the high ground well enough, and you can play around that better, then the only people that should ever have trouble should be the people on the ground, aka your medic. So, I guess we'll see how they play around it, right? Obviously, it looks like in this mid-fight, they're already rotating around. They're Soul Light charging the Demo Man, so Whip immediately eats a lot of damage and will eventually get cleaned up, but they do find Ghoul on the other side as well. It's an all-around massacre for both sides here, but somehow it looks like Soul Light might just get away with killing 2 soldiers at this point, unless Elker can lock in and win this 1v1. It's starting to look okay. It was looking dire for a minute, but he does win.
Yeah, in the meantime, Air kind of solos the mid. Runs in, gets the frag on the enemy medic. Google is dead for the whole thing. And he just kind of wins a 1v2 as well. On the point, as Solar Light's sort of running around in the back trying to kill 2 players. Air just kind of gets a 4K, and that means that his team is sort of very much still in this round. Gets control of mid. And leaves the eepy Nappers on their own second. It is going to be even Ubers, so no major disadvantages, at least so far. But you can see the pressure now can slowly start to be built by Elke, who immediately gets a massive rocket there by Charon.
It's gonna slow things down a little bit on this supposed push attempt, and there goes Air taken care of as well. So That's gonna be last minute having to slow down again, and that's a very long respawn for Air as well to have to sit through, so I'm gonna be waiting for a little bit here as the counter aggression is gonna come out of eepy Nappers. Potato gets cleaned up, so much for that. Sharon can't really do much either, so I'm just gonna wait on second here again, and with Uber's roughly equal, unless they move extremely quickly and get a crazy frag onto Google, who's just not ready whatsoever. Might just be looking at an exchange as a trade instead. As yeah, really far forward on this flower side here. Elker goes in for a bomb, manages to get the force actually. I didn't know. Okay, gets the force. That's big.
Sharon's in with the counter bomb as well, finds absolutely nothing. Really nice bomb there from Elka, and you can see the push out in through Valley means that you're giving up all of your high ground on second as well. No stickies from the Demo Man means that you are just forced all the way back onto last, and you can see the last minute are leaving nothing to chance. They're already in onto lobby, they know they have a massive advantage. One soldier just spawning right now. This is a level 1 gun. If you press the advantage very quickly, this gets extremely difficult here for the eepy Nappers to hold.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Yone just crashed on the last hold as well. And Charon presses kill button, I guess?
Okay.
And then now they want to pause mid-push. I don't know, I guess there's something happening. I don't know what is happening with the Nappers, but they are crumbling. Something is happening very, very poorly for that team. And it looks like it's just going to be a one last push for last minute here, off the back of that. Yeah, it's, I don't know what happened there. What's...
Okay, so
like, Yone crashed, so like that's, yeah, okay, happens. But then what happened with Charon?
Apparently just like accidentally killbinds. Which is...
Where's your killbind button so you like fat finger it? How is it not on the right side of your keyboard where you can never accidentally hit it? Like what?
What's your killbind key?
I actually have two. I have K for kill and then P for explode.
Ah, that's good. I just have K. I feel like this is the only like...
Yeah, it's like
crazy.
The reasonable choice. Anyway,
biggest hand of all time.
Next mid fight. Surely this one will go a little bit better for either side here, because
Google.
to be fair, oh my god, to be fair, it was pretty bad for both sides last time around. Even if one side won, so again, a nice little charge in there, but it will not get the kill. Matter of fact, he cleaned up himself. As Sharon goes down as well. They only find Elker on the other side. Yone goes down, and it's looking like another one mid fight for the side of last minute. But at least this time around, it's not as disastrous for the other side, because Google barely lives. Barely just about. But yeah, that's
still a lot of players down here, Sonny.
Yeah.
Last minute are looking to just completely put the pressure on as they're already in on lobby, trying to sort of get something before all the enemy players spawn. It is even Ubers. So our Sticky's on second. You can see Solo Light maybe looking to peek just a little bit. They're actually going to try. Looks like to take this Uber in, or at least send Sharon forwards through lower here. Oh my god, they're going dungeon.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's quite something. They just get straight onto the medic as well. Unfortunately, a few too many beefed meat shots means that it's not going to be an easy medic frag. It's going to be an exchange instead, and obviously that very much so favors the attacking team here, who still haven't capped second, mind you, and Solo doesn't quite get away with anything either. Yeah, it looks like at the end of the day, they still win that exchange, and they still manage to get into the last now with no demo up either to worry about. That's Potato taken care of, trying to protect the point. Whip is just going to solo King of the Hill at this point for the longest time before finally someone tries to get him off of that, and they do at least, you know, delay it for a while. But more players means more people to try and take care of when you're defending, and that's 2-0 up now for the side of last minute.
It all starts at the very beginning of that mid-fight as well, with Google just eating so much spam as they try to come out of Cafe. They're just eating 140 damage instantly, drop down to 10 HP, and they have to spend so long going back into their own Cafe, taking that pack. They just have no space left on mid anymore, right? There's one Demo Knight charge to come out with the rest of your team sort of back in Cafe trying to keep their medic alive. There's no follow-up. You just have no positioning on mid whatsoever. You lose that, and then the rest, the eepy Nappers just completely outmaneuver them on second as well. We're back on middle this time, and Google once again really getting pressured hard.
Oh, Whip is going to be the first to fall though, so like gets his charge off for once and actually lives for his troubles as well. And unless Google dies here, it's gonna be... Okay, he does die. I mean, you can't blame him for that one. Air does eventually clean it up. Actually gets the kill onto Sharon as well. Will Potato be able to take this menace out, or will it be Solar Light? Either of them, they're really struggling. Eventually they get it. It is a one mid fight for once now for eepy Nappers, but very much not decisively. And with some spawners coming up at least, they might even have to deal with re-aggression. They're gonna have a bit of an Uber disad as well with how late Google died. So, I mean, 20% is 20%, right? It's something to work with.
Yeah, this is the last minute, looking to try to come back onto middle as the rest of the enemies haven't really managed to get in. They're just barely through Cafe in time. Oh, slight advantage as well, but this is Sharon with a really nice bomb. As Solar Light comes up across as well. That is a beautiful rocket onto Maxi, and that's exactly what you come for if you are the eepy nappers. Now, have to watch out for Uncle Sam getting a bit aggressive, but eats a lot of damage. No medic is up, and makes this so hard for last minute to hold.
Yeah, Whip can't get like a cheeky sticky trap anywhere either. Elkir tries to go for the bomb, gets air shot instead, and they just put enough bodies between Google and the aggressors. Keep that medic safe and sound. Now, big add to work with for the side of eepy nappers, and if they can manage to get the second off the back of it as well without having to use, even better for them. There's a chance to get into last. Wolfie trying to be a bit cheeky here, a bit far forward, but ultimately has to back out. And with air still down as well, they're still down a player trying to defend this, so things are not looking all that easy for last minute to do. Eventually they'll get that spawner, but now the aggression is going to come through for eepy nappers, and there's just no position really that last minute really want to take here. They're just going to back out to last, except that this is a forfeited second, and maybe just try to hold this Uber off on last. That is inevitably going to come their way very, very soon as they go in through lower already. Yonistan taken in deep. That sentry is only level 2. Does take a while before it's taken care of, but it will get taken care of. Sticks on the point though. They do clear those out eventually. There's a demo knight coming in as well. Maxi taken care of means that even now, if they have to back out of this, that Uber is out of the equation again. So they don't have to worry about that. They just have to worry about this heavy on the point that they'll eventually focus down. A bit of cap time as well. It's only Wolfie and Whip, and they just can't get to the point in time.
It's a really nice push in there from the eepy nappers, just really putting the pressure on, making sure that they can come in, capitalize off the fact that they get those early kills. Uber comes forwards, they have a tiny ad, and they just pressure forwards. Getting that frag onto Maxi means no counter Uber can come across the heavy. You can kind of see how scary it is. The demo mine has no counter to the heavy whatsoever when he has a shield and some booties on. But fortunately for him, there are other members on his team ready to come in, pressure the heavy out. So that is a round victory here for the eepy nappers, slowly crawling away back in. Still down a round here on the final map, playing for their spot poLANd. But they're going to need some magic here. Early damage once again. Google just instantly taken down.
Yeah, that's going to open it up wide here for the side of last minute, but they do lose Whip. And Solar's still around, a shark, a menace, and they find Maxi on the flip side. So actually, this is looking great for eepy nappers. Sure, you've lost your medic, which is obviously suboptimal, but at the end of the day, you've killed everyone. You only have to worry about Wolfie, who was already getting like kind of cut off. Frenchie might just try to fight this, or Wolfie might just escape. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Wolfie isn't really accomplishing anything anyway. His second has already been capped off as well, and last minute have to just hold last here. They have no choice. They're down about 10%, 20% at this point as well, so yeah, I mean, Whip is trying to like, at least pressure second a bit, and they're going to send players out, which is very ambitious. I guess they're aware that eepy nappers are taking a bit to get here, so they're actually going to fight this as best they can, and Google just goes down somehow?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is my favorite type of push, where we all just decide to instantly explode.
Sure.
Yep. Nope. That's a good push, guys. Well played.
I don't know what to say, but it worked. Last minute worked that out somehow. They just decided, yeah, just hold W, and sometimes that's the right play. Common wisdom would have said try to hold last, but common wisdoms don't apply when you're playing against the demo knight, I suppose. You just gotta
just kill all of them.
Yeah, just kill.
Easy.
Just win. Just frag and win.
It's actually such a simple recipe to win TF2. Kill the enemy, don't die yourself, and you're gonna win.
Yeah. And then get actually like snowball into the enemy second, and now have a big Uber ad as well to try and take it to last with. Interesting. Let's see how this goes.
Coming in through lower already, Sentry Gun's still being built, and this is going to do absolutely nothing. As it's instantly taken down now. Still Sticky's onto the point, but Potato already taken down as well, means it's Sharon onto the point. Gets shot down by Air, who is cleaning up house, and Whip completely uncontested onto this point as well. Solar Light is gonna eat a pipe. And there we go, Katana of his own on the side of Whip. But is it going to find any frags in the post-game? It is!
The most important one.
You know what? I actually love this. Imagine the honorable duel on mid. If Whip sees the enemy demo man charging him, pulls out his own melee sword and kills him.
Yeah, unfortunately there's like this weird thing where like when you're charging, your melee range is extended by like 3 times or something.
Really?
Because well, not actually, but it seems like the game just kind of works like that because of like the lag compensation and stuff. So I feel like it would still favor Solar in that case. I guess we'll have to like look at, you know, pings and networking at that point instead, which would again favor Solar because he's got a lower ping. Anyway, next bit fight. Last minute still up a couple of rounds, so doing fine for themselves so far, keeping Solar under control as well as he just gets floated into the skybox on mid. Will be the first to fall. However, they lose their recent carry in air as well. So it's still anybody's game. Google for once didn't die instantly on the mid fight either, so there's heals still up for that side. And they're slowly winning this war of attrition with Maxi going dangerously low and just caught a horrible position. He's gonna get fragged by the enemy medic of all people. And if they can keep Google safe from this last remaining player in Whip, which they certainly will, it's looking like a wipe out of last minute.
Yeah, last minute. Down and out here in this round. Gets a bit scary now. You had that sort of single round buffer, or double round buffer rather. Now already losing this mid very decisively. Google 90% already. Gun is being built by air, but has a lot of work to do. Uncle Sam, singular sniper shot here. Needs to find something to keep the rest of his team alive in the round, because this is solo light. The rest of the EP Napper is looking to just push in and crawl back another round.
Yeah, and they need it if they want to keep themselves in this. Plenty of time left to play for, but the longer they take, the less they have to work with if things do get dire, and that Sentry's taken care of immediately. Sticky's somewhat cleared off the point, unfortunately for them though. They didn't find anything else. Whip is still alive, he's just going to re-up those. Air is up on the heavy now as well, and they have to deal with all these remaining players, but there's so much cap time being put down as well, and they've only found Air as the only frag on the defending side, while Frenchie just salvages at least a frag onto Maxi, and also Wolfie for that matter. Just somehow keeping them in this, but it's a botched last push, and it's going to be a second retaken.
But this is actually really scary here for last minute, by the way. They do not have heals on second, and you have to be so careful now that the EP Nappers don't immediately come in and punish you, right? You can see Whip is up, and he does have stickies, but he has no team support whatsoever. That bomb in from Frenchie was an absolute nuke. So Solarlight already has a bit of a flank position, can just charge in, but the rocket bounces him up. In the meantime, though, Charon finds the kill onto Maxi, and suddenly this is a massive advantage here. Pipes from Whip are going to be decent at deterring the enemy, but just for how long can you keep this up? Because you are staring down the barrel of something incredibly scary here.
That's a big Uber ad waiting to be used, and this is how they won their first round on the side of Nappers. It was a big fat ad like this one. So if they can get that working once more, no stickies to worry about either. Charge it in through lower, charge it in through top side, whichever one you want really. It doesn't really matter, because there's not much of a defense mounted so far. It's a level 2 built just about, but it is very far back, and if everybody's ready to go, looking healthy, EP Nappers are going to be taking that in from the top side once more. Sentry taken care of immediately. They're not going to find any other frags. Almost get Uncle Sam, but not quite. A little bit of cap time edged out as well. Actually, quite a bit before they finally have a soldier jump in the point, getting that out of the equation. Google does go down, so no heals for the aggressors here, but does it matter if they find enough cap time frags? Oh, Soullight is getting away with a lot. He was getting away with a lot for a while, but he does get taken down. And they can't quite get the cap time rounded out either, unless Frenchie gets away with a miracle now. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah,
he's 101 HP. He never does anything that. He gets one shot by everything. Such a huge kill at the very beginning of that fight. Getting onto Google before the Uber can really do much of anything. They get no positioning off of it. As a result, they just have to sack forward to try to get in onto Maxi. But she lives, and that means that now, suddenly we're back onto middle. A lot of space being taken already. One bomb from Charon. Doesn't find much of anything at all. So Solar Light now is in on Tetris, but I think he's spotted out as well. So he's just going to back off.
Yep, okay, that's very sound, very, very normal play to do, and well, it's going to allow Nappers to stabilize on second here, though. They're not getting rolled completely for once. They actually have an opportunity to respond with their own Uber as, well, last minute's Uber is kind of just wasted away, in a way. They kind of really get nothing with it. They found a Frenchie who's stuck behind, obviously, and they're going to go through Dungeon again, try and make this Uber stick on the point, and that's going to be the enemy combo staring them down straight away. There's Maxi taken out of the equation. And now they just have to deal with all these other players going to their own last, which nobody is protecting besides Sharon, who's trying his best to hold up 4 players. And that is a disastrous misplay. Just going forward with that Uber when you haven't taken care of anybody else. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
LAN qualifying point now for the side of last minute here. This is looking very scary here for the side of EP Nappers. There are 14 minutes left. Within these 14 minutes, they're going to have to find themselves at least 3 more rounds to keep their LAN dreams alive here. For the moment, Frenchie, very early, aggressive middle, damage onto Whip, but will just get healed up. But you can see how passively here, last minute, have to play. They're really respecting this demo man, but Maxi eating so much spam as she starts the middle off.
It's looking a bit bad for last minute already. Now Solo gets a nice little charge in, gets that medic frag cleaned up as well, and escapes with his life for the time being. His air gets cleaned up as well. Google is gonna have a lot of aggression coming his way. Whip is really trying to get in there, and has to just get that kill, mind you. Not just that, but gets Solo as well, and lives.
No way.
And they get both scouts as well. It's only the soldiers left. Make that one with Sharon the only one trying to do anything here, as he at least got Elk here, but wow, that turned around very quickly. What a play by Whip.
I cannot believe that they come out on top of that mid-fight. That was disgusting from Whip. Huge damage onto the entirety of the combo. There's a follow-up there from Uncle Sam as well. Means that suddenly, this is a mid-fight that looked so good for the side of the eepy Nappers. Instant kill onto the enemy medic. But somehow, some way, those final seconds when you're trying to heal up in your own cafe and repush with Ad, you just end up getting completely collapsed by the opposing demo. So now Maxi spawning way early as well. She has about 30 Ad here. And it is quite scary on the side of the eepy Nappers. Thankfully, decent amount of ground you have to cover if you are last minute. But they are now looking to deal that final little death blow here to the Demo Knight TF2.
A Reddit TF2 in many ways, I suppose. Not quite this time, huh? When the competition's a bit tougher, you're gonna have to try a little bit harder to get to land. But anything's possible. They could still get 3 rounds. 12 minutes is certainly a lot of time. But with last minute looking as solid as they have been, and looking to get this Flowers push working once more, which just isn't quite going there well. Elker in with a bomb, doesn't get anything laid down with it either, so yeah, it's gonna be stabilization for the time being. Nothing's gonna run away with it just yet. There's still gonna be plenty to play for. Sharon actually manages to get in with the bomb, gets the force out of Maxi.
Massive bomb there from Sharon once again on to Maxi, and that is almost entirely second in one player. Getting that force, that is all you need. You can see the push immediately comes out, but it is a beautifully timed bomb there from Wolf. He does a lot of damage to the enemy, and suddenly now Google is going to end up paying for it so much. Push stunted it a little bit, and LK a massive height advantage. Look at the spam of Google as a pop it, but your positioning is horrific here.
And there's just nothing to even go on. Like, they managed to kill a scout with it and then clean up Elker behind as well, but that's about it. The rest of the team for last minute is safe and sound, sitting on second, waiting for things to just come their way. Obviously, they still have to hold off some of this aggression, and killing Yone certainly helps. poLANd just gets in there. What was that charge? He's doing it sideways. That was crazy. Excuse me? He's serpentine. That was a okay, yeah.
Yep.
He gets through the chicane just like that. That's incredible.
Oh my god, whiff. Beautiful little two-pipe there onto Potato, but he can't really hold on. That is such a disgusting charge in Solar Light. I can't. How does he get in there? That was crazy.
Did he like surf a rocket or something? I don't know what happened. He must have surfed something. There's no way he would have gotten that height. I guess no wait. There is like that little curved ramp outside of the point. That's probably what he charged off of.
It's like I'm watching a Galileo world. Like what the? I'm sorry for mentioning heroin in an Essentials cast. But this is an enemy pushing in now. eepy Nappers need to make a comeback, and it starts with a beautiful medic kill as Uber's going to come in, and a sentry gun is going to get taken down. A lot of space on last, already taken as now. Stickies are not cleared off the point. Whip is doing a lot of damage here as both scouts are cleaned up. Solo Light once again is in onto Maxi. Can't really find the follow-up, however, he's just onto the point, uncontested. So much cap time, but Google manages to stay alive, unable to get the cap time. And this is where you start worrying about time as well, Cerny, because there's only 10 minutes left. You need to fight these rounds, and they're going to have to start coming pretty quick.
Yeah, if you are eepy Nappers and you want to stay in this, you need to get 3 rounds in a little over 9 minutes. 3 minutes a round is possible, certainly. It's very possible, but you need some clean rounds at that. Now, 3 minutes to just do a last push, certainly something that you can do. The sooner you do it, the more time you have for the other two. But you really need to make it stick. You have a bit of an Uber ad to work with as well, so they have to make this Uber stick the best way they possibly can. It looks like they're maybe opting for that lower push this time around. Everybody's kind of poised and ready for that one. Potentially, at least. And they're just being careful. The Uber is ready. They're gonna go in through lower as well. The sentry is poised for that. Unfortunately, gets taken down immediately, though. A little bit of cap time put down already. Sticky's still on the point to worry about, though. They haven't found any place. It's so much cap time, though. They have to just stand on the point now to defend. They find Solar Light. They find Sharon as well. Defense is going well, but there goes Maxi. No heals now for the defenders. Means this War of Attrition is going to favor the attackers very well. And with air slowly getting whittled down as well, there's the first round of the 3-day need. Now, they have a little under 9 minutes for 2, which is much more feasible.
I've seen various members of the Twitch chat do way worse on Sunshine. If you know, you know. But yeah, no, this is a bit of a difficult comeback now, right? It starts with this round, but you need to keep going. You only have 8.5 minutes left. You cannot let your foot off the gas. You have to keep going here. Need another decisive mid-fight victory, but it really is that second map of Bagel. It was Whip getting caught out by Sololite the whole time. This time around, it's been Maxi really getting the punishment there from the Katana. Now back on mid, where the pressure, they haven't been able to deal with this on this side of last minute, and you need to find an answer.
You really do. Sololite again with the charge, gets directly onto the combo. Uncle Sam taking down your scout, dying to the demo. It's the last thing that should happen. Whip gets taken care of as well, which means Maxi's in huge danger. And that's another frag onto the medic once more. The only saving grace, the silver lining here for last minutes. They do find Google. They do find a few frags, actually. Make it only 2 left for the side of eepy Nappers. But Sololite is on a 4-kill streak on that mid-fight. He's already on second, ready to just... yeah, well, hold off anybody who dares just contest him on the second point. Okay, no. Yeah, that's fair. Run away from that. That's honestly reasonable. Still, that's slowing down eepy Nappers enough, right? Getting Google there, huge for keeping last minute ever so slightly closer to winning this. Using that buffer to their advantage, buying themselves some more time. But, obviously, they're gonna have to hold this off for a while longer. And eepy Nappers, they're gonna put the pedal to the metal soon, I think.
Yeah, they have to, right? All that last minute needs to do is sit back and hold on. So the pressure really ball entirely on the side of the eepy Nappers, and so far they're trading 1 for 1. Trying to find an angle once again for the Demo Knight, who comes in and finds the kill onto Wolfie now. 5 kill streak with Potato supporting your medic, or your demo rather, as well as he keeps on charging forwards. Whip finds 1 kill onto Potato, but gets taken down. So now without a Demo Man, it is so hard to hold onto this last
He's getting
point.
away with
2
so
players
much.
up, and he's just
God.
straight away on his own as he's cleaning up spawn camping. Uber gets forced out here onto the opponents, but it is just Google. Counter Uber of his own. Sololite now finally gets cleaned up as the scouting onto last. Teammates not there to support them quite yet as Chan can bomb in, looking to find more. Is unable to find much of anything so far, as it's actually just Elkir with 1 kill onto the flank, but with Wolfie cleaned up as well. It's Whip for 2. And I think finally, just maybe, we have a bit of a round capture, but you have to watch out because Potato's in lower, spotted out by Uncle Sam, and he's not going to win the 1v1.
That was dire for a minute there, but... you know, they took a little bit too long to get second, took a little bit too long to get players into that last to back up the havoc that Sololite was trying to rig, and eventually the spawners are there to get last minute back into the round. So, now they're contesting mid, got a big Uber ad as well, make it even bigger with Google going down once more. Nice little stickies there by Whip to clean that kill up, and it's gonna make it ever so much harder for eepy Nappers to really get themselves in this, to keep themselves in this, especially considering their time is running low. 5.5 minutes left on the clock to get 2 more rounds on the board, and you're playing from behind. Solar, big charging, gets Wolfie, but that's probably not the key pick you're looking for. It doesn't matter, because Maxi just walks into a rocket by Frenchie anyway, unfortunately. Frenchie just sneaks that one in, and that gives them a chance at least. That keeps eepy Nappers in this ever so slightly, but Ghoul's got nobody to heal for the longest time either, so they're gonna have to hold last.
Yeah, they're holding last. They have no business being on second whatsoever. You don't have a Demo Man to really spam stickies either. Maybe you can go for some kind of sack, but that gets so scary, right? You don't have players up there looking to maybe contest us a little bit. I really don't like this at all, as everyone could just go down. Elkit goes in, but it's actually 2 frags being found. Whip has found 1 kill in onto lobby, as Air is just in on top, uncontested. Walking onto last, there's no one there. It's just Frenchie holding on, but he doesn't win the 1v1. The charge is coming, no Air! He pulls out the guitar!
Look, man, I know you've been having a pretty good map so far. You've been stepping up, but that's a bit preemptive, man. It's a bit premature. You could have waited like an extra 10, like not even 10, like 5 more seconds just to make sure you win the round. Now you have to go and do it again. I mean, even then, they bought themselves time, right? They're still up 2 rounds, and with 4 minutes left on the clock, it's starting to look almost impossible for eepy Nappers to really do anything here unless they get the cleanest fights, and so like just quantum tunnels right on top of your medic every single fight somehow. As long as you can keep that under control, you're probably not in any trouble, and you will be going to Poland in 1.5 months' time. But they have to make sure that they remain clean for the next 4 minutes to make sure that actually happens. So far so good. They kill Frenchie, they kill Potato as well. get Solo Light out of there. And matter of fact, they have to worry about nothing besides a Sharon behind, who is very much so far behind. And as long as they keep moving forward, will be more of a liability for his team than an asset. That said, Maxi just dies again. Solo just gets away with it again.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
How is the medic dead again? Sunny, there are 3.5 minutes left. I don't know how you win this. You have to be so careful. And you're getting so many frags, but Whip is stuck in lower here. I'm gonna go for the back cap. Actually, might just get cleaned up. I think somehow, some way, we found ourselves in a weird, like...
What?
No.
Okay, they found him. They saw him.
Okay, thank God. Okay, back to the... We're in some weird kind of Twilight Zone where we needed a miracle from God for them to not lose that round just right there, and suddenly they find themselves. Demo super late frag as well. There's no contesting whatsoever on mid. You have 100% massive advantage here coming in onto second, and you can just keep on rolling this because there is a gun being built on second, and the Uber's not popped whatsoever. You have Uncle Sam building on top, but you have to keep just pressuring this out. Okay. You have one soldier frag, and you need to just keep this going. 2.5 minutes. Yes, there's still technically time in the round, but with this Uber popped already, you need to go in, and you need to go in before Maxi has an Uber of her own.
Yeah, and you've lost your own as well, which means it's going to be even harder. You really have to make these frags stick. Elka going down early, Sharon winning that one certainly makes things a little bit easier. They got to deal with these stickies on a point as well if they want to get something down. So Light does get the frag onto Maxi. That's huge! It eliminates that Uber threat entirely. There's so much captain as well. It's only Potato left though. And he probably could have just stepped on it. I think he could have probably just stepped on it, but you've probably got tunnel vision, got scared by the heavy. Oh, just narrowly. That could have very quickly turned into something dire. Still hanging on it though. They're gonna get that second as well, and I think that's GG.
It's so hard now for the Eepy to go in. They have Charon in behind, but unfortunately for Charon, the enemy second is capped. Solo Light's in the skybox, and unfortunately unable to find anything whatsoever. She gets taken down as well. These frags are coming across, and there we go. I think we've now crossed officially the finish line as last minute they made it look very sketchy at various points, but I think they've managed to hold the line. The wipe comes through here in Valley. The wipe comes through here in Valley. The wipe comes through here in Valley, and everything's okay.
Not just last minute to signing up for LAN, but also making it a little closer than maybe they would have expected to actually qualify. Certainly a chance there to get it snagged away by a Demo Knight team. And luckily for them, they managed to, you know, hang on closely enough. So Demo Knight's not making it to LAN this time around. I believe there is no like secondary round to this or whatever. It's just 3 team slots and there's 3 matches being played. Oh, there is a group stage. So there is going to be an actual like elimination bracket as well.
Yeah, we're chilling. 3 team groups, and then they play, and then stuff happens, and then eventually we have 3 teams going. So both teams are still in contention. This is obviously not a good start for them, Sunny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume you would prefer to win this map, but yeah. I think last minute really put on a showing. To be honest, like I came into this game and I really thought this was going to be a 2-0 for the EP Nappers. I sort of looked at the names on the other side and I was like, yeah, you know? And EP Nappers are like a successful team that did stuff. At the last line I saw, they looked to be pretty good, but unfortunately this time around, it's kind of outmaneuvered here, especially in the 5CP. Obviously they look pretty good on Bagel. But this time around, it's last minute coming up on top.
Just about though. There were flashes on the Sunshine map where, you know, the scoreline doesn't prevent it. It's a 4-2 at the end of the day. It could have been a 5-2 if, you know, last minute were a little bit faster, I suppose, to close it out in score. But there was a few moments there where it definitely could have gone in the EP Napper's favor as well. And like a few more slightly cleaner last pushes, and that would have very quickly gone to like a golden cap, I think.
Yeah.
There were a couple last pushes there that were so close to actually being capped off. If they just had slightly better point pressure, maybe, you know, slightly better follow-up immediately, and they would have gone very differently. There's like small difference.
I hate being that guy. Do you know what's really good at applying point pressure and having follow-up in post-Ubers?
Stickies, yeah, unfortunately.
That's crazy. It's crazy you should say that. Anyway. Something to think about, maybe.
They have another chance. They have another chance. There's another team in the group that if they can beat it, then I suppose they'll have a chance to maybe get into playoffs anyway, and then still make it into the LAN. Anything can happen. There's A lot of possibilities here. Don't rule out either team just yet. I mean, obviously don't rule out last minute. They've just given themselves a well-deserved victory. But don't rule out the Nappers just yet. They are keen. They are LAN proven in many ways, and they're looking
They
to
don't
make
have
a
their
splash
full
again.
roster today. Big cope.
Also true. They are
Flutek
lacking.
will come back and he will save the world.
In many ways, people are saying that they were lacking their hardest carry. So
there is, yep, there are some things being typed in the server chat. That is true.
Anyway, there's some logs. Whip was dealing damage. Yes, we saw that. We saw that he was doing damage. Oh, Elk actually doing less than solo light though. That's.
Do you see as frags, Sonny?
Yeah, he was fragging. No, he was having a great map.
Yeah,
he was having a very good map. It makes up for how poorly it was going at points on Bagel. So yeah, that's it for this match. I don't know when the next. There's one tomorrow, right? No, on Sunday. It's on Sunday.
Oh my god, guys! If you like TF2, there's so much TF2.
Yeah,
we've got another best of 3 poLANd qualifier tomorrow night.
Actually, I think it was moved to Sunday. So
it was moved to Sunday. Sunday we have 2 games actually. Oh my god, guys! Because we also have TF2 Premiership qualifiers Sunday. So we will both have PD2T, which is the Finnish team. Yep, they are long and its Finnish name. eepy's on the team, bunch of other Finnish people you'll know and love. eepy, Kai, Fundo, Muffins, Open, Blurry, eepy, Water, all those guys, and then versus Seer, rather. There's no H in that. So Seer Coincidence, which is Labriska, Havoc, Shadow, Nun, Optimus, and Zim as well. That might be a good game. That's fun. I really hope the Finns make it to LAN. Dude, the Finns are so funny. Love Finns at LAN. Love eepy at LAN. I had one of the most spiritual moments in my entire TF2 LAN experiences, where I got to talk to a very, very drunk eepy and an equally drunk Quad. Rest in peace. And it was beautiful.
Those are the good times.
At the same time, we have Premiership qualifiers.
Yeah, true.
That's it's going to be Tomato and I, with JMax apparently comes back, and Sopranos, which is a team of players that you might recognize if you play a lot of pugs. So Salty, Rutu, Black, Sake, on Soldier, yep, and then Happy and a guy with a Finnish name on Medic, and then a bunch of Polish guys on Global Yeti, including Womzu on Scout. Lol. It'd be a good game. Playing for Premiership as well, because obviously that's going to happen next week.
And not just next week, like next few weeks, right? We're gonna have a quick cheeky Prem season in the lead up to LAN as well. With
have we mentioned there's a LAN, by the way, guys?
Yeah, most of those teams are gonna be going to LAN as well, and it's looking like in many ways the most stacked TF2 tournament in a long time, in a very, very long time. So
Streets are saying maybe ever.
Maybe ever, maybe.
It's up there. There's a lot of very, very good TF2 about to come your way, both throughout Prem and then also, of course, poLANd coming up directly after that as well in the end of February, the last weekend of February, which is February the 28th, I think, is when I'm leaving. Potentially. I think that's when my flight is.
I have to double check again. I think I'm like 26th until.
Ooh, that might be true, actually.
Yeah, 26th is the Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the 27th to the 30th, gonna be big
30th?
TF2 LAN.
What kind of February you living in?
February?
You said the 30th. That's why.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god, dude! I forgot the February is like that. That's crazy.
Wow,
guys. I wonder why that is. Top 10 things science can't explain. You know what science also can't explain? Peter, this is when you turn off.